Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the BFNL Netball Show for another week, another exciting week of netball action in the Ballarat Football Netball League to review, preview and discuss right here on the BFNL website. Sean Kelly's my name. Joining me as always, my co-host Matty Wiltshire. Matty, welcome once again, mate.
Great to be back, mate. Good to see you've gave yourself a bit of a trim to look good for all of our netball fans.
Needed to, mate. Feedback was coming through that it was looking very, very sloppy upstairs, so I thought I'd just tighten things up, lower the ears a touch, and here we are.
That looks great, mate. You've done well.
Thank you very much, mate. Always appreciate the compliments. Any compliments that you want to send through as well, feel free to do so. I'll take absolutely all of them. Let's have a look at last week's matches straight off the bat, mate. Big show to get through. We've got an SC Technology Player of the Month to name today, as well as our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week. So let's jump straight into it. Ballarat taking on Sunbury last week at Alfredton, and it was a good win for the reigning premiers, 74-26. Sophie Gunn, 66 goals on the weekend. A fantastic effort by the star shooter from Sunbury. Lee Chickus and Hayley Mackey, they're better players as well. For Ballarat, Beth Van Rossum scored 16 goals on the weekend, with Ellen Wirtz, Abby Wiltshire and Jess Luke, the better players for the Swannies. We suspected this might happen. Obviously, two teams that are at opposite ends of the ladder and opposite ends of their development, with a very experienced Sunbury list and a very young Ballarat list.
Yeah, I was actually at this game for some stages throughout the match, and Sunbury just absolutely showed a lot of dominance throughout the game. There are a lot of experience in their side, obviously, whereas Ballarat sort of lacking a bit of experience. But Ballarat did sort of show good glimpses and show that they were still going so hard at it. You could see that they are going to be on the improve, and give it 1 or 2 years and they'll be right up there pushing for a final spot. So they've just got to keep at it, and hopefully the team stays the way it is, and the more experience they get, the better they're going to go along. But Sunbury just showed that they are still right up there for the premiership this year. They're one of them top 3 sides that are just showing dominant performances each week. So it's going to be interesting to see them and the Melbourne and Redan, who's actually going to come out on top. But the way they played was outstanding.
Yeah, expect nothing less from the reigning premiers, doing a good job once again on the weekend. Darley taking on Lake Wendouree on the weekend, and after the Lakers dropped their last 2, they needed to get back on the winners list last week. They did that in impressive fashion. 57-25 victory over the Devils. Katie Williams moved into the shooting arc this week, scored 30 goals. Chrissy James 27 as well. Steph Deutscher 16 for Darley was their major goal scorer. Molly Boyle best on court once again for the Lakers, having a fantastic season. Cara Hart and Kirsty Walsh also very, very good. Darley's better players, Leah Mathy, Tale Bari and Brooke Marshall. Great win by the Lakers, one that they really needed against a dangerous Darley side.
Yeah, well, Darley were obviously going to come out firing, needing to win this game to try and get themselves into a final spot, but Lakers absolutely shut them down with that, winning by 32 goals, and just showed that they definitely deserve to be in the finals now. One of them more top sides. They just sort of need to start looking at beating one of them top 3 sides now to sort of secure one of them top 3 spots, which helps once you get into the finals, run into that grand final, and you want one of them top 3 spots. So they need to start beating them really top sides, and we'll see what happens. But fantastic win there to Lake Wendouree.
Actually, they play one of those this week, and I got some word through during the week from someone involved with the Lake Wendouree netball that you don't tend to show them enough love on this show, so you need to start showing the Lakers love and get around them a little bit. That's the feedback I got through during the week from somebody involved with the Lakers. I won't mention Romsey's name. Great season so far for Molly Boyle as well from the Lakers. Probably our runner-up for the SC Technology Group Player of the Month award. We've given her just about everything this year, and I know her boyfriend is just leeching off her like you would not believe. So we thought Molly, just leave her out from the Toshiba touchscreen tablet this month, but she's been fantastic for the Lakers this year.
No, she's a fantastic player, not only with the Lakers, but RSL, Interleague, all that sort of stuff. So she's an outstanding player, and I'm sure Siv agrees with it.
And good afternoon to Siv as well. Do some work for a change of bludger. Moving along, Melton South taking on Sebastopol on the weekend, and wasn't this an absolute beauty down at the Melton Rec Reserve? It looked like it was going to be a typical Sebast game to start with. They shot away to a strong lead in the first quarter. They got overrun in the second quarter, and they were down a fair bit at three-quarter time. Georgia Can got them in the huddle at three-quarter time, said this is our last chance to get some sort of relevancy for this season and get in that finals mix. If we drop this game, it's good night. They responded well, and when the final whistle blew, they were a goal in front, 44-43. Great work by the Boroughs on the road. Georgia leading by example, 31 goals and a best on-court performance, with Prue Scott and Rhiannon Banner amongst the best players as well. Netball Show guest last week, Banner, best players. There's something in this, I'm telling you, ladies. Come on the Netball Show. Melton South, Reece Carter-Coleman matched Georgia's output with 31 goals on the weekend. Solly Ropity, Lyndon Akello and Reece Carter-Coleman. They're better players. Strong win by Sebastopol keeps them relevant for another week.
Yeah, I think we expected a very close game. I didn't know it was going to be this close, so fantastic game there from both sides, and at one point that it come down right till the end. So Sebas obviously with a big last quarter, they were 3 goals down at three-quarter time, and going off the recent Sebas form, the girls probably had in the back of their mind that this might be the quarter where they just lose it all, but they've played a fantastic last quarter and come away with a 1-point win, which is fantastic. Good to see Georgia Can really stepping up this week. A big performance by her, and also, as I said, Banner. She was on the show.
Just waiting for Nunny to tip in, but Nunny's not here this week, so it's a nice quiet background. Yeah,
exactly. But if there's any girls in a form slump looking to get out of, come on the Netball show.
Correct.
Trust me, you're getting the best of next week.
And also, this was another one where we got some feedback from this game as well, because word came through in a text message to me at about 4:40 p.m. last Saturday, and it wasn't all that complimentary because, as you'll remember, I tipped against Sebastopol last week, and it didn't go down all that well with Banner, and apparently didn't go down all that well with the coach as well, because word filtered through from the coach via my wife telling me to stick it because I didn't pick Sebas on the weekend. You only won by a goal. Fair enough, they got it done, and fair enough, I was wrong, and I'm a big man to admit that, but you only won by a goal. Stick it's a bit rough, isn't it?
I don't know. I think I'll tip Sebas. So
yeah, I think you did too, so you can stay in the good books as well. Another game that I didn't tip last weekend, East Point taking on Melton. Melton doing a fantastic job coming down to Ballarat without their couple of their big names and getting the job done, 46-32 against the Roos. Madeline Gray came up from the 19 and under side, stood in to try and fill the shoes of Melissa McCauley, as impossible as that may seem, but she did a fantastic job with 31 goals on the day. Jess Bartlett, Brooke Thompson and Maddie Carter, fantastic for the Bloods once again. Lauren Atkinson, Marcel Geljon and Emma Ryan, great for East Point, with Cindy Daniel scoring 19 goals on the weekend. This was a statement by Melton, because this was a game where they didn't have Mel McCauley playing. They came out and said, we're not a one-person side.
Yeah, exactly. They've proven that they're not a one-person side, and they've really stepped it up this week. Everyone's sort of thinking that they rely on Mel in the goal square and how to stop her, but they've shown that they're a fantastic side, even without her. But she's a fantastic player, obviously, and they'll be looking forward to having her back in the side. But they've really stepped up, especially with Gray stepping up with 31 goals there. Really filling in her shoes, and East Point obviously very, very strong side.
Yep.
To beat them still by nearly 12
goals, mate.
12 goals.
14 goals actually.
So to beat them by 14 goals is a great effort. The East Point obviously on the fridge still the finals. They're 6 spots. So for Melton to prove that they're really one of them top 3 sides and going to be, as I said last week, the favourites of the flag. I'm saying so. They proved me well again this week without Mel. So. Yeah.
We've mentioned that ladder a couple of times in the show, so let's have a look at it. It's very interesting the way that it sits after 10 rounds of the season. Melton, Sunbury and Redan 1, 2 and 3 on the ladder, all with 36 premiership points, and Redan's stiff. They've won and they've had a bye, so they've got 8 premiership points in the last 2 weeks, and they've fallen from first to third within 2 weeks, so a bit stiff for the Lions there. But I suppose this is where it becomes important, because there's now 2 games between Redan in third and the Lakers in fourth. North Ballarat City also on the same points as the Lakers with 28 points. Another game back to East Point, who are on 24, and then 2 games to Sebastopol and Darley. So they can still make it up, Sebastopol and Darley, but it's going to be very tough to do so. But obviously the door is still ajar a little bit. And then we've of course got Melton South, Bacchus Marsh and Ballarat bringing up the rear. Awards time on the show this week. We'll start with our Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week, and this is a player that was fantastic, not just last week, but has been pretty much all season as well for the Melton Bloods. Almost a bit unsung, as many are in that side when you've got Mel McCauley in there, but without Mel last week, she really stood up and played in wing attack rather than in goal attack, where she's played in the last few weeks. But Jessica Bartlett was fantastic for the Bloods, and she has won this week's Stockland Wendouree Player of the Week award. But the calendar's ticked over since we last spoke as well, which means it's time for the SC Technology Player of the Month. And as I just move out of shot for a second, I'll bring this bad boy in, because it's time to give one of these away again. Our Toshiba touchscreen tablet, $699 worth of pure premium stuff right here for the player adjudged Player of the Month in the BFL, thanks to SC Technology Group. We mentioned that Molly Boyle was the runner-up, and it was a very, very tough decision to leave her out of that spot. But down at Redan, there's been some fantastic work going on throughout the course of this last month, and We had to juggle between a couple of players, but in the end it was the midfielder that won out. Congratulations to Cass Peace from Redan, this month's SC Technology Group Player of the Month. I was trying to get her into the show to help us film today, but she's actually in Byron Bay at the moment, so we'll catch up with Cass on the weekend, get that tablet over to her and maybe film a few words of thanks for SC Technology Group and the Netball show as well, Matty.
And she'll be over the moon with that. Obviously, it's a fantastic award from SC Technology Group, and thanks a lot for their support. I'm also sure all of the girls really do appreciate it, and they're going to be stepping up their game for next month. I know the calendar's turned over, a new month, so might not have been the best yet. You stepped up this week 4 bests. You never know, might be coming home with a $699 tablet. So
could be the case. An absolutely fantastic piece of machinery, that is, thanks to SC Technology Group. But it's time to do a bit of shilling as well. Authentic Autographs, fantastic partner of ours within the BFL, have dropped off a nice piece for us during the week. And look, we do need to make some dollars to pay Matty's exorbitant salary. So we're going to bring this in. This, of course, the Melbourne Vixens. Framed print, fantastic. You'll see that it's a little bit old here. It's got Sherelle McMahon up here as well as Kath Cox, Matty Brown, and of course some fantastic players on the list as well. The other one's Bianca Chatfield, of course, so have a look at the list. The premiership photo is an old one. What we can do is we can get this for you, framed exactly the same way. That photo there will be the 2014 ANZ Championship photo. Can leave Sherelle in there, we can replace it with Tegan Caldwell, we can replace it with Jiva Mentor, whoever you like. Just for Netball Show guests this week, anywhere you try and find that, it's $250. Just for you out there, $120. Fantastic achievement, fantastic price. Email me through, all the details on the screen at the moment. If you want one of these, not an auction. If you want one, just let me know, $120, it's yours. Email me, contact us, we'll get one of those out to you. Fantastic piece commemorating the Melbourne Vixens 2014 ANZ Championship win. Let's look at this week's games, Matty. It's another huge week with a couple of very, very big games and a couple of games that may decide a couple of these ladder positions once and for all. As we look towards round 11 this week and Bacchus Marsh taking on East Point down at Mattingly Park, you'd think that the Roos would start favourites in this one. Yeah,
I think East Point will be looking to bounce back from their defeat last week, and Bacchus Marsh still in the sort of development stage, so I'm going to go with East Point pretty comfortably travelling down the road to Bacchus Marsh.
Yeah, East Point for mine as well. Of course, Bacchus Marsh having the week off. Their round 10 game was played on Good Friday, so they got the chance to have the week off, and they probably needed it after they had Melton drop 104 goals on them the week before. Yep. So Bacchus Marsh will come out keen, there's no doubt about that. And look, East Point probably aren't as dominant as what they were last year at this stage. So Bacchus Marsh may consider themselves a sneaky chance here, and I know there'll be a couple of teams that will be very much hoping that Bacchus Marsh can probably bring their best game for the season here, but I can't see it happening. I just think East Point's going to be too strong in this one. Huge game taking place at Wendouree Reserve this weekend. Lake Wendouree versus Melton. Here's that game that you were speaking about before, Matty, the chance for Lakers to take on one of the top sides and get a big scalp.
Yeah, Romsey's not going to be happy with me. I think I'm going to go against them again just because Mull are in such good form. They're a new premiership favourites, so I'd be silly if I dip against them. But this is one that Lake Wendouree does need to win, and one that they'll be coming in throwing all of their guns towards, because if they can win this game and get close that gap between the top 3 and themselves and try and get into there, this is one that they really need to win. So I expect it's going to be a very hard-fought game, but with Melton, if they have Mel McCauley back, I'm not too sure if she is back. Any word?
Yeah, there might be. Of course, she was away last week. She's a school teacher, so we're still in the middle of school holidays.
Interesting.
Not quite sure if she'll make it.
We'll have to see what happens there.
Yes.
But, I think it's going to be a big.
Before you tip, we're talking about absences. Let's turn the page and look at the blue, green, and golds for the moment. Emma Burton missing her first BFNL game in her 8 years in the league this week. She's headed overseas as well. She's in Singapore this week. Crap effort by you, Birdo. Come on. You're not allowed to miss any games. Katie Williams also missing as well this week. It's the curse of the school teachers. The middle week of the school holidays, a lot of netballs are school teachers, and they just use this weekend to just get out of Dodge. And look, why not? It's been about 4 degrees in Ballarat all week. Why not look for warmer climes? But no Birdo, no Katie Williams this week for the Lakers. Offset that, maybe no Mel McCauley, no Jess Kelmar for Melton. Probably evens things out a little bit, you'd think.
Yeah, no, I think it does. But After we've said, I'm going to go with Melton. It's going to be a, as I said, tough fought game, but I think Melton will go to the line in this one.
Yeah, Melton for mine as well. They proved last week that they can get a job done against a good side without Mel McCauley in the side, and I reckon they'll be able to do it this week as well. Probably a bit tougher side this week, the Lakers in the opposition they'll face. So it'll be a close game. I reckon Melton just to scrape over the line, as I can see Siv texting he's a good partner in the background already saying that we're tipping against the Lakers, so I'm expecting retribution to come much earlier this week. Redan taking on Darley here at the City Oval this weekend. The Redan girls get a chance to get out on the paddock for the first time in the next couple of weeks. Well, not such a paddock. Netball courts are played on bitumen, not grass, aren't they? So they get the chance to get out there, and it could be a different look at Redan's side as well, because speaking of people overseas, Erin Riley's in Croatia at the moment, just living the life there. Also, Amy Elliott apparently not available this week as well, so it'll be a whole new defensive setup for Redan this week.
Their school holidays are really killing our netball side.
They are.
It isn't good to see, but Redan are still a very strong side. They've got a lot of depth, and they've shown that. And Kate McMahon does tend to change her sides around a lot during each game anyway, so I'm sure it's not going to be too much of a change for them coming into the weekend, because she has them sort of all well drilled in all their different positions, so I'm sure Kate will be on top of it, and she'll be able to steer it down to a pretty comfortable win over Darley this week.
Fantastic summary by you then. That's why you're the number one man on this netball show. Make no mistake about it. You've basically taken the words out of my mouth there, and I think Redan will win this one as well. Sebastopol taking on Ballarat at Marty Bush Stadium. Here's a chance for Sebastopol to just get another win on the board, get 2 in a row for the first time probably this season, and start to get that ascendancy building.
Yeah, as you say, this is the time for Sebastopol to start getting some consecutive wins on the board, and if they do that, then the confidence is going to come, bringing only positive to their games for the weeks to follow. And I think that they should go back to back this week. They've had a good win over Melton South, well, not a good win, a very close win over Melton South last week, but I think they should come away with the win again against Ballarat, who, as I said, still in that development year. So Abby won't be happy. I still haven't tipped his sister's team once this year, and I don't know if I will for the rest of the year. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm going to go with Sebastopol with this one. School
holidays take on a bit of a different feel in this one, because a lot of the Ballarat side are obviously their 9 and unders. The school holidays, it couldn't be so much the teachers taking off in this one, it could be the kids taking off. But we speak of school holidays, interesting Facebook post during the week. Georgia Can up and away for some sunshine on Monday. She headed to the Gold Coast early this week.
Interesting who she'll be back.
She will be. She's coming back on Friday, so she'll be in the side, and the Burrows should be at full strength this weekend as well. So Sebastopol should have a comfortable victory. But down at Sunbury, arguably match of the round, the 2013 Grand Final rematch. Sunbury taking on North Ballarat City at Clark Oval. This is going to be a ripper.
Yeah, I've talked about this one in the little record column as the match of the week.
Buy that too, $2 when you go in the ground. Fantastic piece of literature. Maddie's column, you've got some reviews, you've got some previews. Just get around it, please.
Yeah, no, get around it. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be the game of the round by far. Look, Sunbury, North Ballarat City, it's last year's grand final rematch, and North Ballarat City will be wanting to show that they're going to be up there this year. They're sort of dropped off a bit, sitting at 5th position, I think it is, and they're not what we describe as one of them top 3 sides. Whereas if they win this, then they'll push themselves right back into that top 3 position and have themselves got good stead coming to finals, and have all the other teams worried and thinking, well, if we have to play North in the finals, they're going to be. It's not the team you want to play if they can win one of these matches. So, look, Sunbury are going to be coming in with confidence. They've had a good win, obviously, last weekend, and they know they can get it over the North Ballarat City girls. And due to that, I'm going to tip Sunbury by 8 goals.
A couple of key elements in this game. Obviously, we know with the way that the ladder's sitting at the moment, we said before, Lakers and North Ballarat City sit 2 games behind that top 3 at the moment. They both play top 3 sides on the weekend. Redan play a side outside the top 6. Melton beat the Lakers, Sunbury beat North City. There's 3 games between 3rd and 4th, and it's all over. We know our top 3 sides. It's just a shuffling of positions from there. Yeah. That's why it's so crucial that North Ballarat City can't really take their foot off the pedal at any time during this game. It's going to be very difficult, though, because Sunbury have got another milestone game this week. Hayley Mackey plays her 200th game for Sunbury. Fantastic achievement by Hayley on the back of Lauren Gilchrist's 250th game a few weeks back as well. Former league best and fairest is Hayley Mackey as well. She's been a fantastic servant of the Sunbury Football Netball Club throughout her career. So great to see Hayley get that milestone. That's one of the reasons why I'm tipping Sunbury this week. The other reason is I think they're in a better vein of form than North Ballarat City at the moment, and I think they're a stronger side, and I don't think they've got a match-up for Sophie Gunn. Sarah Milton's a fantastic defender, but she's more of your GA type defender where she likes to come out and create play. I think that Sophie's going to be too strong, too tall and too good for the North Ballarat City defence.
Yeah, watching Sophie on the weekend for the periods of time when I was there, she's just got so much experience and she uses her height really to her advantage. You can just put it up sort of anywhere around her and she'll be able to get into the correct position and just pluck the ball out of the air from anywhere. So her height and, as you said, I think her experience is going to be fantastic and help them get over the line this weekend.
That's the Netball Show for another week. Fantastic show once again this week. We've given away awards. We've given you a chance to get a priceless piece of memorabilia. Matty Wiltshire has given us some of his absolute best stuff once again. Thank you very much for that, Matty.
Always a pleasure, mate.
And we'll be back at the same time next week with more on the BFNL Netball Show. See you then.
Can't make it.